Well, all right, guys, welcome to my Nollywood Journey, the premiere edition, the debut edition. If you ever followed my trajectory in this industry, you know that I'm very, very particular, very, very sensitive, and when it has to do with Nollywood and all that, and I'm very, very committed to everything that has to do with Nollywood. So, right from the beginning, when we started this the conversation with King Samuel with team, we said that we want to give out proper information as to do with the industry. It's about time we start giving information from insider perspective for those of us who started this industry, how it is. Enough of third parties and fourth parties talking about our stories. It's about time we start telling our stories ourselves so we can have a proper understanding ourselves. Anyway, good evening, everybody. Welcome to my show, Nollywood Journey on RZ TV, where we uncover the great untold stories of people who built this incredible industry from ground up. My guest tonight is true Nollywood icon, an actor, a storyteller, a filmmaker, a performer who graced the stage, lit up our screens, and inspired generations. The one and only Jude Aurora. It's an honor to have you here. You're the first guest on this show. We're honored to have you. It was very important that we have you because a lot of people don't understand and they don't know your trajectory in this industry. They just know the name Jude Aurora and they don't know who the face behind the they just know the name. Some people know the name, while others don't know the person behind the name, right? So today we're going to look at the journey, the beautiful journey that we had in this industry. Um, let me first welcome you to the show, Jude Aurora. Thank you for coming to the show. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Mr. Kingsley. It's an honor, pleasure to always answer your call, and also I'm really grateful for this opportunity. At least being the first guest on your maiden edition, it's an honor
Right.
for me. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you, brotherly. Jude, someone I've known for let me be a little bit modest for over 25 years. You're right, eh? Over
Yeah,
25 years. So
yeah.
my story in this industry cannot be told without Jude in it, either as a personal trajectory, as an individual, as a person in my personal life, or as an industry person, from the very first time we met up to today. Same thing here. So almost everything that we've done will be part of it. Apart from this year, begin to grow a bit older, so we begin to go to different places. But of course, almost every project we've done, we've basically been on this project, on this project together. Anyway, let's go straight to the business of today without taking so much time. Thank you very much, all this, my community online. You know how we go about it. Drop your comment, share your questions, your comment. We'll take them as we go. I can see Mary Omoefe. Mary Omoefe is already there. Bros, nice to see you. Mary is saying hello, nice to see you. Thank you, Mary, for joining. Judy saying hello to you too. Let's go straight to the first question. Judy, how did you find your way into this industry? What pulled you in?
Um, okay, thank you for that question. As far back as the as far back as the 80s, yes,
Mhm.
I actually grew up with my mother.
Right.
You know, I grew up in a polygamous family, so I practically stayed with my mom, and all through the years, I was actually my mother was a teacher. She's late now, so after school, after house, school, all those movement up and down. But at the end of the day, when my mom got a television, a TV set for the first time, this was early 70s. I'm talking about maybe 70, 75, 76. So I got used to watching drama
Mm.
on screen. Then the TV don't start until around 4 in the evening, 4, 5.
Right.
So after doing my homework, I just got glued to TV sets, and I just found interest in watching dramas, and that love, that passion was there because even my mom and dad, in real life, when they were alive, You cannot stay with them for 5 minutes and not laugh. Do you get? So I think what happened was when we moved down to Maryland,
Mm.
Monday to be precise, I'm talking about 1977. I saw this man. His name is Solomon Ayegere. He used to
Mm.
be he used to play Dr. Andrew in Village Master way
Right,
back.
right back, way back. Yeah. Mm.
So over time, I just found out that if only I could get in touch with this man, maybe he will link me up.
Right.
Just
Mhm.
maybe he will link me up.
Right.
So I found courage. It took years actually. It
Mm.
got to 1980, 83, 84. Oh, okay, 85. I was done. I was almost done with my secondary school. So I had made up my mind because before then I was in literary debating society. I was doing dance. I was acting for my school. I just felt, look, let me just go into it fully. This
Mhm.
was the early 80s. So when I saw Mr. Solomon again, I now told him, I said, look, I'm really interested in acting. So the first question he asked me is, are you done with school?
Right.
So I told him, I said, I'll be writing my WAEC soon. This was
Mm.
85, 86. So he said, fine, finish your school. Just finish your secondary school first, you know.
Mm.
So and that was it. That was it. He just gave me a recommendation letter after I was done with secondary school. Said, okay, give it to Mr. the late Bode Osoyin, who happened to be a lecturer. He was a lecturer in Unilag. He's late now.
Mm.
So that was how the whole thing started, sir.
Right. Thank you very much, Jude, for this good insight. A lot of us a lot of people in the community that are watching, they might not know some of these names, but for those of us who are old enough, we know some of these names, and they are quite very interesting stories. Thank you very much for that. Really. Okay, in all of this, let me just go. When you decided to go into TV shows and all that, when you said made up your mind, uh, you said you were staying with your mom. What was the response of Mom C? Was she good with it? She said, "Okay, oh yeah, okay, go ahead." As a young boy who was still
Momsi was practically against it because Momsi was a Catholic. So her
Mhm.
prayer was that I would become a Catholic priest.
priest, right?
Yeah. But her younger sister is a reverend sister.
Right.
So she was saying that one of our two sons, it's me and my senior brother, Brad Pius, that
Yes.
either one of us would become a Catholic
Priest,
priest.
priest, right?
So she was so disappointed that I was no then we were busy doing stage plays. So I'll carry a rapper, carry
Mm,
almost all my rappers to go and do stage play. King
mm,
Emene, Get Not to Blame, Wedlock
mm,
of the God, all those
mm.
stage plays. But at the end of the day, even Antalanio was one of our directors.
Right. Okay. I think a bit of speech here, but it will join you soon. It's quite interesting. While we're at that, I'd like to take some of the comments. Please, you know how to go about it. Put your comments there and all that. I see Kennedy. Kennedy, hi. Thank you. Say it's good to see Jude on the show. Yes, thank you very much for joining us. Let's see if we can have him back. Hello, hello. Can you hear us? Hello, can you hear me? Right. I guess we lost him for a moment there and all that. Before I join, so let me acknowledge the people, a couple of persons. Mary Moive, thank you for joining us. Kennedy, thank you, my guy. It's good to see you on the show. Yeah, absolutely. Um, Olomago, good to see Mr. Jude, one of the OG. Of course, he's one of the OGs. Thank you for joining. He's going to join us shortly and all that. I guess a bit of technical there. Amo Omiola and guys says, good evening. Good to be here again to learn new things. Thank you very much for joining us, Amo Omi. Thank you very much. Ola Daniels, thank you very much. See you. You are an amazing host. Love the interaction. Your energy is infectious, and I'm having a blast watching this stream. Thank you very much. Appreciate everybody. Keep it coming. we'll appreciate everybody and all that. We'll try to get Mr. Jude back on I guess a bit of challenge with the normal thing that we have. Uh, which is so you can post your comments, your questions while we wait. We'll get to him as soon as possible. If you can see me and you know I'm still online, please just say hi. Just say hi on the chat rooms. If you can hear me, just say hi. I hope they can hear me. I hope people can hear me. Yeah, let me try and reach out to him. Um, all right. So, okay. Thank you very much, Tojo. So that we'll see online. I guess a bit of challenge with what our technical issues there. What has to do with we lost him. I think the light went off in his end. As soon as possible, once he joins us, we'll go back to it. And anyway, thank you very much for your comments and all that. Thank you, Kennedy. Thank you. You guys can post your questions so that when it comes up, he's having issue with a bit of challenge with of course let's see generation, but it's going to join us shortly. I just reach out to him now. Thank you everybody for everything. Uh, as we're live and all that. Any question that we can take other questions as we go. Thank you very much. We can post the questions. We can interact. You can still ask me questions. Penny when it comes back online. From maybe from any of our shows that we've done before. We can take them. Thank you very much, everybody. While we wait to see him, we'll continue with the chat. Just give me a minute. Let me try and reach him, everybody. Let me just try and reach him. Just give me a minute. Okay, so I've reached out to him. He's going to join us briefly. I think a bit of challenge with some technical things right there. You know how these things work. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you, Kemi Akile. Thank you very much. Say, this bring back memories of Fuji House of Commotion, Benro, and yes, it's good. Yes, we have him back.
Yeah,
Thank
back.
you. Yes, welcome back. I guess a bit of technical challenge here and there and all that. As I speak to you, the chat room is buzzing heavily. They're excited to see you and all that. So please, NEPA or network, anything, whatever it is, please hold your peace. So I just go back a bit to some of the comments. Let's go back to Kennedy. Kennedy Oshama says, it's good to see you, Jude, on the show. Thank you very much. Kennedy is a friend of the house. Uloma Agu says, Good to see Mr. Jude, one of OGs in Nollywood. Of course, he's OG in Nollywood. The real one of the real OGs. Among me, like I said, good evening, good to be here again to learn new things. Absolutely, good to learn new things from watching and from Jude here. Oladen says you are an amazing host. Love the energy interaction. Love the interaction. Your energy is infectious and having a blast watching this stream. Keep it up. Thank you very much, Ola. Told you, thank you for joining us. So he says it's nice to Mr. Judy. Thank you. So I say hi, I can see, yes, you can see and hear you. Thank you. Can say hi. Kemi says, this bring back memories of 4 years of commotion. Bero! He's such an amazing actor, and I actually thought he couldn't speak in real life. We're going to come to that, of course. Amazing stuff. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kingston, for bringing talented Nollywood. Thank you very much, Kemi. Mary says this is very interesting. It is very interesting. We just started, so it's going to be get real hot. George said good to be here. Thank you, George, for joining us. Kennedy, I popped a question already. He said my question will be for Mr. Jude. Which movie was his first Nollywood movie? Baga. Jude, what's your first Nollywood movie? What's your first Nollywood movie? Do you remember?
Exuma's Hard Way.
Say again?
Exuma's Hard Way. That movie was shot 1994.
Exuma's Hard Way. Did you hear that, Kennedy? So, Olamide says good evening. Thank you. Good evening. Olamide says glad to be here. Great to be here. Thank you very much for joining us. It's buzzing seriously. Let me just stop here. Let me go back. We need your questions. Why we take some of these from are coming offline and some online with us. So in all of these, right? Tell us about those early days. What were your biggest struggles when you were starting out? Those early days.
What's my biggest what?
The biggest struggles in the early days. You know, we had a lot of challenges at the beginning.
Yeah.
What can you tell us from your perspective, those early struggles that you faced?
Okay. The fact remains that I started on stage. Yes. So while on stage, my contemporaries were busy doing TV series.
Right.
So porting to TV was a bit difficult for me because I wasn't known. I was popular when it comes to the stage plays, people come to watch stage, but nobody knew me as an actor on screen.
Right.
So the struggles of trying to blend with the screen actors was difficult. But I didn't give up. I just knew that one day, something will happen. And it happened with Antalanion. He called me for a TV series way back in NTA. The title of the drama was called Moving Finger. It was directed by Antalanion.
Yeah.
Program, Channel 10. Yeah. So from there, the late Sadiq Daba called me for another TV series on NTA. Yeah. We call it telenovela. So, yeah. Telemovies. Sorry, telemovies. So, Halls of War. That was the title of the TV job. It was a story on cultism.
Right.
Yeah, that's Sadiq Daba. Then 1990 was when Amaka Igwe came to watch a stage play at Peck Theatre. She now saw me. She said, this guy will be good for a role for her series. It was me and Tunde Yuba, was Alba, one stage play like that.
Yes.
So she now got in touch with me and Tunde Yuba. So she now gave the character of Akpan in Checkmate to Tunde Yuba, and I gave me the role of the deaf and mute in Checkmate.
Right.
So actually, 1990 was when I became prominent on TV.
Okay, so and it's very important we have. I didn't want to go into this perspective here. You know, I wanted to see the challenges that we had at the beginning, but now that we're here,
Oh, okay,
just
okay. The challenges were not much.
you know,
The
more
challenges
okay.
were not much.
So it
It
was
was not
easy.
much.
Was it that easy at that point in time getting roles and all that? Was it that easy?
It wasn't. It wasn't. I attended so many auditions.
Right, right. So those are the challenges.
I attended so many auditions.
Right.
Don't get it twisted though. The world was not built in a day. I attended
Well,
so many auditions
mm,
that I almost gave up.
mm.
I almost gave up. It was until Anta Yona called me to come and take a minor role in a movie finger on NTA.
Yes.
But it wasn't easy, sharp. But it wasn't. It wasn't.
Okay, fine. Um, you began on the stage, like you said, right?
Yeah, I started on stage.
How did theater prepare you for team on TV? Did he help you? If he did help you, how did he prepare you for film and the TV and film?
Okay, here is the logic.
Right.
When you're acting on stage,
Mhm.
it is larger than life.
Right.
When you're acting on screen, you reduce your movement because the camera does the work for you.
Work for you. Right.
My first challenge when I started the big screen on Checkmate, Bolaji
Mhm.
Daudu, the late Bolaji Daudu, who was the director then,
Yes.
was the one that really schooled me. He was
Mhm.
the one that taught me the difference between acting on stage and acting on screen.
Right.
He actually drilled me, and I give kudos to him. I know he's somewhere in heaven. So,
I
yeah. So what he taught me was that your unique selling point is when the camera is doing your close up.
know. Mhm. Mhm.
When you're on stage, imagine the person at the end of the theater. He's seated at the edge, at the last point. So when you are talking, you need to project so that the last people will hear you. But
Mm.
when you're on screen, you have a mic already, so you don't need to shout.
Absolutely. 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 Mhm.
So my transition from stage to TV
Mhm.
was gradual. I had to get used to it because all through my life then was stage. So it took me time. It took me time. It took me like, let me not exaggerate, like 6 months. Because I got so when you act on stage for God knows how many, maybe 5, 10 years, and you're always doing this, you're always doing that. For you to now come down a bit to scream, it took me time. It took me like
Mm.
6 months. Seriously.
Right. Wow. All right. So thank you very much, Jude. Appreciate you. Let's go quickly to the community. Uche Olamide Adekaya says, "Good to see Mr. Jude. You're doing well. Thank you very much." Um, I think we lost a lot of. Let me just scroll down a bit. Okay. Fuji House of Commotion is all we think of when we see Bros. Jude. That's Mary. Mary says, when we see you, that's what we think of. Absolutely, I agree with you. Toji says, that's so spot on. I have flashback, actually thought it was truly unable to speak for real. We're going to come to that. Good to see Mr. George, you're doing well. Thank you, Olamide. Olamide says, Ucha Buike says, good to see you. Nice to be here. Good evening, sir. Thank you. Kennedy says, I met Jude for the first time in 1997. Oh, wow. When they had a performance at the Lagos State Secretariat. Kenoli said, good evening, everybody. Kenoli, thank you. Good evening. Jude, I know you. I remember. Thank you for coming. Good evening. Good evening to everybody. Thank you very much. Okay, so for those of us who are watching you on Checkmate and Fuji House of Commotion when you were playing Binro, baby. A lot of people thought you could not speak, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people think, even till today, people are still surprised to see that you speak. I know you still get those. Do you still have some of those responses, those reactions when people hear you speak today?
Okay, as far back as early 2000,
Right.
when Fuji House started,
Mm-hmm.
there are times I will be on my way to the island,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in the middle of traffic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Someone will just peep out of the window. And I'm like, hello. The next thing she's like,
Ah! like, like who? Can you speak?
I don't get it. Now,
No.
let me tell you one secret, Mr. Kingsley. Let me tell you the secret. Let me tell you one secret.
Right.
Before Amaka Igwe gave me that character to play,
Right.
or before I even went for the audition,
Mm.
when I was staying with my mom,
Mm.
my mother's landlord had a son who was deaf and mute. The guy is late now.
Ah. 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 Right.
So,
I see.
like I said, I practically grew up with my mom.
Mm-hmm.
So, all my primary school, my secondary school, even when I went to Unilag,
Mm.
he was still alive. It was
Mm.
him that I had to picture in my mind when Amaka Igwena said, Jude, you are playing the role of a deaf and mute.
Mm.
So,
Wow.
all I had to do was, bring back the memories of the guy and then my artistic input. And that was what gave back to Benro. And so people actually see me like I'm really deaf and mute.
Mm. Mm. Because
So
I was
that's the secret, actually.
right, because I want to speak to you like how were you able to do this? Like everybody
Effortless,
believes everybody believes
effortless.
initially. Myself, I even thought I said, this guy like deaf and dumb. But I said, I've heard this guy speak before. I mean, don't turn deaf and dumb all of a sudden. So I think that's a very big one. Kudos to you, my brother. It was a very great job, fantastic job that you did with that role right there and all that. I've never seen any other person, not because you have not seen that person who have played such a role as a director, as a producer, who has been able to carry such a role. Till today, people are still thinking that uh, they still don't believe that he was acting. Okay, tell me in one of those times during your on location, with the other guys, with John Jama and the others and Joy and everybody and all that. At some point in time where you don't talk at all, just to stay in character, so that you just stay with character, and also how were they able to help you out? I mean, your closest persons. I mean, your friends on set. How were they able to help you to stay in character without distracting you?
Okay, thank you for that question. The fact remains that I had already studied dramatic arts before, going fully for that character.
Right.
So it took a lot of training.
Mm-hmm.
And even while on set with my co-actors, they were still shocked that they tried their best possible to make me laugh and it didn't work.
Mm.
So all in all, it's just discipline and being focused. That was
Mm.
how and they understood perfectly well that there was nothing they could do to break me when it comes to that character. Because as far as I am on that set, and once they say action,
Mm.
I switch. It's a total switch. For some people, they don't look at it that way, but for me, it's my job, it's my profession, so I have to put all my concentration on that character. So there was no way I could have been distracted. No way. It's something I got used to, and it was part of me. It's
Right.
still part. I'm still trying to leave some part of Beirut.
Right. Because I was going to ask you, did it have any negative impact on you as a person? Because you played this role so well for a long period of time. Did it have any impact negatively on you? Are you there? Are you there? Right. Okay. So why would it's coming?
About that.
Okay. So did you get that? Did you get my question? Are you there?
No, no. What's the question?
So I'm saying the
Yeah. What's the question?
role playing deaf and dumb, the mute and all that, right? Did it have any negative impact to you as a person in real life? Tell us about it.
No, I don't think I had any negative impact. Sorry. I try as much as possible to let it not affect me in any way at all. Although, the only positive, well, one of the major positive impact
Yes.
was is that once I'm on the road and maybe in a function, I see someone who is also physically handicapped, which is deaf and dumb, and they know me, right? So they see me and they give me sign languages, and I give them back. That one alone is, a thumbs up for me, because I had to learn sign languages from my mother's landlord's son when he was alive.
Right.
So
Wow.
there was no negative effect on it or on me. No. Or rather, should I say I didn't allow it.
Okay. I remember like a couple of persons tried to cast you in that kind of role again after that. What was your reaction? Did you accept, or what, how did you go about it?
Okay, so the person who wanted to cast me for that same character, I told the person no, that it was not my original creation. It was Amato's creation. So it was my lawyer years later that knocked some sense into my head and said, Jude, you are free to play the deaf and dumb character, but don't bear the same name.
Right.
That by law, I can play the deaf and dumb, but not bear the same name. It is the name that is, the copyright to the owner.
The owner. Right.
Then I can as well play it maturely, but totally different from what I did in Fuji House of Commotion.
Right. In fact, this whole conversation is going to have a part 2 and a part 3, no doubt about it, right? because it's a long time coming, right? Because we can't say enough about JUDE ORHORHA, Benro, and Fuji House of Commotion. We can't speak much about it. We can't finish you. But while we're at it, can you run us through your first day on set years ago on the set when you're casted on as Benro?
Okay. You are taking me back to 1991.
Yes, 1991. Yeah. I know
The
some of those
location,
guys were not born.
the location was Ikorodu,
Right. Yeah.
Owode Ibeshe Road, and I remember I was totally nervous. I was shaky. I was not confident of myself. I was intimidated by Kule Bantefa, the man who played my father, Chief Fuji. I was intimidated by the late Towoni, the woman who played the first wife, Mamoji, because these are like icons that I was watching when I was young.
Right.
So imagine myself being on set with them.
Yeah.
It was not funny at all. Amaka Ike was like, Jude, what is wrong with you? I've seen you act on stage. You are a good actor. Why are you sweating? Why are you shaking? I was sweating.
Right.
I was totally sweating. It's like telling me to go and act with Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Or there's a Washington. That time or not now. No, I mean, I'm not saying again or now. I don't.
Now, of course. When my community was following me from the conversations, it just spoke to it now because a lot of people have been asking questions. This actor, did they feel nervous? Did they feel a bit of fly in their tummies and all that? Of course, yes, he just said that, right?
Of course, now a lot of butterflies.
Yes, a lot. Even till today, it still happens once in a while.
Yes.
I remember I had a conversation with Bros R&B some years ago about this whole thing being nervous. I was saying, of course, you don't outgrow it. You're human. You don't outgrow it. You just find a way to just go around it and all that. So my community, those who have been asking, Jude have also said again, it's very, very important we understand that we are humans, right? We can be nervous, but just the training that keeps us going and all that. Also advised on this our community on our conversations that you don't need to take anything extra for you to act or for you to show that you can do it very well. If you're nervous, you get trained, you can do about it. Do you want to speak to it? Do we need, as an actor, do you need to smoke or to drink anything for you to perform or for you to not be nervous?
No, 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 no. I totally disagree. I totally disagree with that line of thought. It is totally wrong. It is not right. And you are not the one. You are not the one performing. You are being influenced.
Right.
That's totally wrong.
Right.
Number one, some people do exercise. Some do physical exercise. Some do spiritual exercise. Some do mental exercise.
Absolutely.
That way you are focused. That way you think straight. That way you can improvise if there's any mistake without anybody knowing. You execute the job seamlessly. But the issue of taking drugs, drinking, alcohol, that is because you cannot even face the crowd. Which brings me back to that point that I said earlier on. Stage acting propels you for anything at all. If you are not good on stage, if you cannot perform on stage, it will be very difficult for you to perform. If you cannot perform on stage as a popular guy on TV,
right,
you find it very difficult to face a crowd.
Absolutely, absolutely, I agree with you.
That's why people just say, "Let me drink small, let me tell you, so that I can face the crowd." No, you don't need that.
You don't need that. You don't need that. You don't. I agree with you because we always talk about it on our series. We don't advise that. We don't say that. Just drink water, you'll be cool, right? React your lines. Be cool with your people. Be friendly with your co-actors. Just be prepared. When you're prepared, you'll be ready for it and all that. And like you said, you as humans, you'll be ever nervous. Just work on it. So Jude, what do you do when you're nervous? Let me just ask you this question. If you're nervous or you have a bit of butterflies in your tummy, what do you do?
There's this exercise I normally do. It has a lot to your emotions. When you breathe in, breathe out, breathe in slowly. When you're done with that, when I'm done with that, I sit on my own. I just focus on what you're going to do. Try to help my lines, and that's it.
Right. That's it.
Some people prefer prayer. Yeah. Oh God, oh, yeah. Mess up. Oh.
Yes. It's okay. It's good for them. Even for me as a director, sometimes I feel nervous. Right? I feel nervous.
Yeah.
So I most of the time I do, of course, I do a couple of exercises, concentrational exercises. Then of course I also pray because it also gives you that kind of
as a director, you pray for guidance.
Yes. Right? You also give that mental boost, that
exactly
that God is with you. So that's why most of us we do some of those things and all that. What can I see? But why you at it? What said it? Well, thank you very much. So we always said in all our shows from the King's conversation, Nollywood conversation up to now, we don't allow people to take anything to motivate them, to bring a force of motivation for them to work and all that. While you're trying to sort yourself out, let me take some questions from some comments from the community. I know. Okay. We'll stop at the yeah. He says, "Good evening, good evening." How? It was him. Who shall we say? Oh, yes, it was him. It was him. It's him. He said, "Wow, such great acting. I remember him now. Amazing, Mr. Jude. Thank you." Which says amazing to you. Told you says, "Bro Jude, you murdered that deaf and mute role." Was going to ask how did you manage it, and did you have to understudy the role? Yes, we have said that. He told us how he managed, how he understudied somebody who was in that conversation and all that. To say, how did you land the role? How do you land the role, Bero?
Okay, Amaka Igwe came to watch a stage play with Albert. He saw me, and then there was no phone. So we had to send a personal assistant, a PA, a production assistant, with a note to come to my house, and that I should come for an audition in their office, Ada Communication. That was Sanusi Fafowa in VI. So I went there, and she just looked at me and said, "Jude, can you improvise as someone who cannot talk?" And that was it. I just did it once, and she was shocked. She was like, is it that somebody told me that this is what I was going to do?" I said, "No, that was it. That was no big deal."
Thank you very much, you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Apart from movies acting, what would have been your other dream if you're not
Apart from what?
acting? What
Yeah.
was your other dream? What would you have done if you're not an actor? That basically is.
Maybe a dancer, maybe a rapper, but anything. But it has to be under entertainment.
African rapper number one. I know, right? I think
It has to be entertainment.
I, I know you'd have made you have made a good priest. I know you'd have made a good priest, really.
Now you get your mouth.
Oh God, oh boy. Oh, okay. In all of this, let's before we move to the next session quickly, because people are still we're gonna still definitely have you some any another day, most definitely. Maybe on the other show or not, but for now. That was one of those hilarious moments on set when you, on Fuji House of Commotion. One of those hilarious moments, like that cracked everybody. That you still remember till now.
Okay, there's a particular episode where I don't know if you know Ireti Doyle, Patrick Doyle's wife.
Well, of course, Reti Doll. Yeah, I remember those Reti
Ex,
Doll.
ex-wife too, yeah, because I think she was playing the new wife of Chifuji, yes,
Yes.
and she had a son, one lanky guy like that. They call him New Peking. So there was this episode where she hijacked Chifuji from Ngozi Wosu. That's Peace.
From
Now
Peace,
went
yeah.
upstairs. So Peace now came downstairs to tell all the children that we should go and fight the new wife. So we all went upstairs because it was up and down. We all went upstairs. That's me, Rabiu, John Dama, Chika Chuku, Jumoke, the other small children. We gathered ourselves with the mothers, the late Tony and the late Shola Onoyega. That's Kitchen Patika. When I went upstairs, so then I said we should fight Ireti Doyle. So when everybody was trying to, do boxing, then I said, "Oh, yeah, go and do your own." I just did,
Yeah, I remember.
everybody.
It was hilarious. It was very, very hilarious. I remember.
I was doing some funny moves. I was doing some funny moves. God. So they were not begging me. They were saying, "Jude is enough, is enough." I said, "No. Now you find trouble. Now you find trouble." Ah, no, no. I said, even the DOP left the camera and started laughing. Hello? Hello?
Anyway, so I know that's how life is. What we go wrong, we go wrong. You see, I try to prevent this happening, and it still happens. You know, right? You know, you see, this life funny enough. This life is very funny life. I did not want to use PACN, so I won't have an interruption. I'm running Gen, right?
Okay.
I'm running Gen, and guess what? The UPS tripped off. So what I was trying to prevent still happened. I was just stayed on Pixel. But anyway, that's how it is. Thank you very much for Mr. Jude Orhorha and all that. But my community, I'm glad to have Jude with us. This is the man who never stopped performing. I titled this episode. I called Jude the man who never stopped performing. If he's not acting, he's doing a stand-up comedy or he's doing MC. It's either on stage or on television or on film, or at some point in time, if it's even behind the camera. I know we've done a couple of jobs where you also stayed behind the camera. A lot of people don't also know that you're a filmmaker, you're a producer, and all that, because everybody see you from the light of that person who could not speak, who cannot say and all that. Okay, so quickly, let me just. There's so many questions, but like I said, we have to come back for a single part. You've seen Nollywood evolve from the days of VHS, Umatic, Betacam, and now to the present where we are today. How would you describe your journey in Nollywood?
It's been topsy-turvy. It's not been a bed of roses. I've gone through a lot as an actor in the industry, and I will tell you this for free. Acting alone is not enough.
Mm, mm, mm,
Acting alone is not enough. Your talent alone is not enough. I started acting with the mindset that I wanted to be popular. And that was it.
Big
Without,
problem.
without thinking of the business side of it.
That's a lot of challenge for a lot of us right from the beginning. We all have that challenge. Please go ahead.
Everything that was focused on my brain was, I just want to be popular.
Entertainer.
Simple. That's all. So over time, as the years go by, people evolve with the time. And I'm like, what's going on? I've done 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. My contemporaries are building houses, buying cars, having a lot. I'm like, no.
Not be saying does with this one.
I'm like, no. Let me think about it. So all through my journey from the TV till I now started acting in movies, I saw that there was a serious difference. My first time out of Nigeria was 2004. It was a stage play that took me to UK in 2004. I saw the difference between us and them. Total difference. 2012 was my first time shooting a movie, a film, Half of a Yellow Sun, outside the shores.
Right. True.
So going to UK 2012 to shoot a film was another eye-opener entirely for me. So my journey from there to where I am right now, I have learned a lot, and I'm still learning. It's a learning process. You can never get tired of learning. I will tell you this for free, Mr. Kingsley. I have learned that art does not thrive on goodwill alone. When they tell you heaven help those who help themselves, is a lie. Heaven helps those who believe in themselves.
Themselves. Right.
So my journey from then till now has taught me that knowing the show itself is not enough, but knowing the business side of the show is what is important. We have a lot to settle. We have a lot. Now, our country as it is right now as a whole in the entertainment industry, we are supposed to go through three phases. We've gone through this first and the second one, left with the third one. The first phase is evolution.
Right.
Second phase is revolution. The third phase is resolution. So
evolution, revolution, resolution. Got it?
So resolution is where we are supposed to be now, but we are still at the revolutionary stage because we still have a long way to go in terms of, intercultural exchange.
Right.
Right now, we are busy shooting movies to impress the third world, to impress the international market.
Yes, international market.
The only way we can make it and be at the top is when we concentrate on our own stories.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you totally. 100.
What do you want to, which glamour you want to get to impress them? Which English you want to speak to impress them? Which is why till today, South Africa, they value South African stories. Shaka Zulu, till tomorrow they are still doing Shaka Zulu.
Right, true.
So if we sit down and analyze it very well, in terms of technicals, we are still struggling. Somebody actually told me that Nigeria is still like 100 years behind current civilization. I don't know how true that one is. So, but the long and short of it is that I have learned a lot, and I'm still learning from where I started until where I am right now.
Right. So, what were distances? You mentioned that have you able to sustain yourself in terms of the industry? Now, since a lot of things have changed from when you started till now, have you been able to keep yourself relevant till today?
Okay, so there's this school of thought that we the old school actors, because I'm now an OG, they call me OG. We don't want to. They keep saying we don't want to blend with the new school. I beg to disagree. Why? The scripts that are chunking out right now favors only the young ones. The people writing the script first. Let's start from there.
Yes.
That is where the challenge is. So when they write stories and they don't involve old actors, there's a problem.
There is.
Now they say if you do not have enough followers on IG or Facebook, or you don't have presence in social media, nothing for you. But you have no choice than to move with the time, because if you don't move with the time, they will leave you behind.
Right.
So the only thing for me to do that is still making me relevant till now is the fact that I had to go through that social media fever in terms of getting followers, in terms of always being on their faces online. So I don't need to do skits to be relevant, but I need to do other things because the entertainment world is large, is big enough. So the only difference is the way you go about it. So online, I make sure my presence is felt, and that is why tomorrow they still remember me and call me for one or two jobs. That's it. Outside that, I anchor events. Of course, we've said that before. I anchor events. I do voiceovers. I do enough voiceovers. Then branding for other companies. In short, my presence on Instagram had given me some jobs for to brand the companies, to do advert for them and all that. So, hey.
Okay, fine. I'll just try to get some questions are coming offline directly to me, and also I was trying to take some of those questions. But however, is there any role, apart from let's take Beirut now, apart from Beirut, is there any other role that pushed you out of your comfort zone or pushed beyond your comfort zone? We want to talk about it.
Oh yes, yes. There was a movie I acted in 25 years ago in Enugu. It's titled Footprints of a Saint. It's a story on the Catholic monk Father Tansi.
Mm.
Was directed by the late Paul Emema, produced by Francis Ouche. So in that movie, I played the role of Father Tansi from the age of 18 till the age where he died, which was it was 82 or 83 years. Now, the challenge I had, one, in a day, I find myself playing Father Tansi in 3 different ages.
3 days in a day.
In a day. So the first 4 scenes might be Father Tansi when he was 18 years. The remaining 2, 3 scenes, they will say, play Jude, or I get ready to play Father Tansi at the age of 40.
40.
Then before the day ends, they'll say, Jude, you are now playing you are now playing Father Tansi at the age of 80. In one day.
That's so awesome. That's massive. That's massive. Kudos, bro. Kudos, bro.
Yeah, so I had to prepare myself psychologically. So each time they finish doing my makeup, all I do is go to in front of a mirror, look at myself, do some gestures, and that's it. That was it.
Wow.
And then again, Father Tansi was a stammerer, not the Pandomo, stammerer.
Stammerer, yeah.
Good. So there are different types of stammers, but I had to get Father Tansi's own correctly, which was another big challenge. At a point, we went to a monastery, where they wear their monk, their uniform, their castle Canada, and everything is black, and they don't talk in the monastery. I was set; they had already made me up. I was looking like Father Tansi at the age of 82. So I was now going to set to go and work. 3 to 4 women saw me and they ran to me, thinking I was truly a monk, that I should pray for them.
Okay, imagine.
It was not funny.
Right.
It was not funny.
Okay. Let me just get a bit personal, right? Every actors have their low and high points. What was yours and how did you bounce out of it? The low points.
It is funny that we entertainers, we actors, we make people laugh, but nobody is there to make us laugh.
Just laugh.
Nobody is there to make us laugh. So we have to create that fun for ourselves, which is why most times you hear actors going out, going to clubs, going to drink, having to smoke, hang out with friends. Those are some ways that the actor himself could, get out of that low period, Now the high period, of course, when you're on set working, the happiest moment of an actor is when he's on set.
Yeah.
Because he knows that after working, that looks like a play, he's going to get paid. But if he's not working, he gets the spirit is low. So which is why most of us have other things to do apart from acting.
Right.
Because psychologically, between you and I, psychologically, when the actor is not working, he's in his lowest spirit. And that's it. You can't run away from it.
Right. Let me just go quickly to the community quickly. Uche says trouble is Libya Yangago Weka. Okay, Kung Fu moves. She's referring to the Kung Fu moves that you did at that point in time. MC that you say good stuff. Thank you for this. We appreciate you. Mary says, "Well, we were enjoying this live session. Thank you very much. Thank you for staying with us." While we round up quickly, I will say I will call up a bit of challenge. Let us. I would appeal to you. Just give us a bit of small time so I can just take some questions quickly before round up. Because of the technical issue that we had. Now, was there ever a time you thought of quitting the industry? Then what made you stay?
Was there
A time you ever thought of quitting the industry? Then what made
no,
you
lots
stay?
of time, lots of time, lots of times.
So
The
what
first
kept you?
the first one was I didn't when I read, they say good, 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 good. When it's time to work, they say no, he's too short.
Uh,
I had, yes, I had issues with my height. They're like, no, 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 no. The first one that hit me first was I'm not Igbo. Because way
mm,
back when we started shooting films, if you go
mm.
through the end credits, you find out that 90% of the names are Igbos.
Yes, yes, yes.
Igbo market. So I had that challenge.
Mm,
I had the challenge of my height. I had the challenge of I'm not fair in complexion.
mm. Wow.
Because yes, I had that a lot. They always like casting fair people for major characters, and I was like, why is this happening? So when it was uh, um, me being not being Igbo, I got so frustrated. I got so I was like, okay, fine, I give up. I'm not doing anymore. But my mom called me to order one day because this is the same mother that was against me acting.
Mm,
I got home, my very first pay then was 50 naira.
mm,
She now said, thank God, oh, at least my son was paid. And 50 naira then was money.
mm,
She said, kneel down, let me pray for you. So it
mm.
was the same woman who was against my acting that convinced me against a Jude. You have started it.
That is it.
God will see you through.
Let me continue.
God will
Mm,
see you through. So I continued.
mm, mm. Wow. Anyway, thank you very much. The man who never stopped performing, Jude Orhorha. Thank you very much, bro. It's quite exciting to speak with you. That's what we always say to people, the community. That's why we always say, listen, come to this show, come to the Arizona TV or in some way with TV, so you can have it the way it ought to be said. We
Yeah.
know all this. So we're speaking from a place of entertainment, a place of education, a place of knowledge, so that you know how it's not. This is not a third party thing. This is the first. This directly from the horse's mouth, so to speak, and so it's very important. So if you still have your questions, we're ready to take that round up quickly. Uh,
I'm ever ready, I'm waiting.
I just even myself, that like there's some things that you said that I as a brother, as a friend, I never knew, and all that. But it's all good, I know that, because this is what have kept us this long in this industry and all that. They say keeping us and all that, that. You've been here for years, Judy. Yes, so I must credit you. I must say you've done so well. Of course, I know we a bit of challenge here and there, but the money is not because of the initial challenge of whether you're Igbo, whether you're tall, whether you're short, and all that, were things that I myself, I faced a lot of those challenges too, and all that, where you're pacing down for a role as a director, and they're saying, no, go change your name, put your name put people name for among that the marketers will accept you and all that. So I know what we're talking about. So that's why sometimes I went a bit cool, because sometimes we don't want to remember for those things. But it's part of our industry, part of what we overcome them and all that. So we're still going in giant strides and all that and all that. Okay. So looking back at that moment, looking back now, what has this journey taught you? Because you've spoken about patience, resilience, and faith. What has this whole thing taught you? And what message are you going to give to people from what you've learned?
First of all, fear of God.
Right.
When you are being successful as an actor, you become an easy target because they know your name, they see your face all the time, your name is on the internet.
Mm,
So you are
mm,
easy.
mm,
You really need to get close to God. However be it, you just have to get closer to God. And my advice to those who want to come into it, humility pays a lot.
Mm.
Discipline. Don't let stardom enter your head.
Mm.
Very, very important. Now, some people believe that because they are popular, they are good, they are indispensable. Nobody is indispensable.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, all through, I can beat my chest and say, humility has brought me this far.
Mm. And it's still taking you further. It's still taking you a lot more. It's taking you to higher grounds. And it's still taking you to yes. So it's still taking you to a higher ground. Right. So
Well, the Holy Ghost fire.
Holy Ghost fire.
Oh, so all in all, it's okay. It's just be yourself. No need to impress anybody. Be yourself, and focus and concentrate on yourself.
Okay, still looking back, what that moment that make you so proud of yourself?
What?
What's that one moment that made you so proud of yourself when you look back?
Uh,
An award? Was it pay, or was it travel somewhere, or meeting somebody? What's that one moment that you say, yeah, I'm proud of me?
okay. When I got the award, anyway, I have so many awards. I think the award for the best actor, Abuja Film Festival.
Right. Right.
That by Fidelis Duka.
Yes. Yes.
It was the project we both of us worked on.
Yes.
Walter Williams, yes.
Yes. That's true.
Wait, you are the producer now.
Yeah, on the producer said yes.
I for that short, frame of time,
Yes.
the job we did, we know the stress we went through. At the end of the day, I got an award for. I'm like, yes,
yes. Something so good. Congratulations, bro. You deserve more. You deserve a lot more and all that. We need some of this. We know that some of these things are actually politics. We know that.
Okay. Another one. Sorry,
Right.
Kingsley. Another one.
Yes.
Half of a Yellow Stone, having to act side by side with Chiwetel Ejiofor
Yes.
and the Newton.
Yes.
The three actors from that was you saw that was a peak.
That was a big one. That was massive. That
That
was
was
quite
massive.
massive.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Well, congratulations. The film Scott Evier was produced by King Solomon Ife, directed by Pat Aubrey, and executive produced by Upper Williams, starring Jude Orhorha. You can see that film. That is a very beautiful film. Very beautiful film. Okay. What do you think about today? Let's just round up. Today's Nollywood. What do you think they're going to do to get it right? From because you bring from the different generations, from the during the West stage where was the in thing to when NT was nothing, when stage was the in thing and all that. What do you think Nollywood need to do to get it right at this moment? I know you did mention a bit of it, story and all that, but
Okay, we need to get a lot of things right.
Mm.
We need to get a lot of things right. Do you understand? In terms of, like I said before, in terms of storyline, we need to change narratives. We need to change our way of thinking. We should stop thinking that shooting glamour and shooting, will make us get there. Let's start from our stories.
Mm-hmm.
It will attract a lot of investors. It will attract a lot of foreign partners.
Right.
We have stories. Kingsley, there's a story we are supposed to work on.
Yes, there are a lot of stories, plenty of them. Plenty stories.
In a country where The cultures are diverse.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of cultures. We have
Oh,
enough
yes.
stories. Let us
Enough
start with
story.
our first.
Yes.
Then we cannot play with the technicals. We can play with the cameras. We can play with the lights. We can play with the sound.
Yes.
We have a lot to do with this light and sound with our own stories, not their stories.
Mm.
For me, that is the only thing I can. Then again, envy plays a lot of
Yes.
envy, a lot of jealousy, backbiting, and this idea of not paying the actors correctly, well, not paying a lot. We have a lot to do.
Mm.
We have a lot. And once that one is straightened up, then again, structure. We need to get the
Absolutely.
structure correct. We need to get the structure right. If we don't have a good structure, we cannot advance. We cannot move to the next chapter.
Mm.
It's a book. We have to finish chapter 1 before you enter chapter 2, before you enter chapter 3. This, like I said before, we've done the evolution. We are still in the revolutionary stage.
Yes.
So we have a lot to do to get to the resolution.
Right. Okay, as we round up now, okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I'm
Let
done. I'm
me,
done.
okay. As we round up, I keep saying as we round up, we're talking about advice now. We're talking about advice
We
now.
don't run up like 5 times now.
Yes. So before we go, let's say before we go, you know how they did on before we go. Talking about advice now. What advice would you give to if you're seeing your younger self now, you want to rewind the young Jude starting out, what advice would you want to say, give to your younger self, Jude, if you had the opportunity to give your younger self an advice?
Having to be at the right place at the right time. I guess I was the right person, but I was in the wrong place.
Wrong place.
So I had to retrace myself. So it's better to be the right person at the right place at the right time.
Right.
Not the right person at the right place at the wrong time.
No time.
Vice versa. That's the truth.
Okay. So in terms of the business of acting of the industry, what advice would you give to your younger self if you're going to have that opportunity?
The opportunity to do what?
To advise your younger self. We talked about we not knowing about not putting the business aspect into the front burner.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do more of the business. Do more of the business now.
Mm.
The show side of it has been solved already.
You follow. So advice to to new ones, to the younger ones, the Nollywood people who are
The younger
watching.
ones, can you advise them? You can advise them. Now they would advise you now.
Let's do our bits. Let's do
The
our
younger ones
bits.
you have now. No, seriously, the younger ones you have right now.
Mm,
They don't listen.
they don't listen.
They
But let's
don't.
just do our bits. Let's just for the fun of it or for anything, for the sake of it.
Only
Let's
one word for them. Discipline. Simple.
discipline. Discipline.
Discipline.
It's a
If you are
major
not
challenge.
disciplined, forget the rest.
Mm,
You can be a good actor and not be disciplined.
mm, mm. Right.
And we have lots of them. They are very good. But when it comes to discipline, zero.
Right. Thank you very much, Mr. Jude Orhorha, the man who never stop performing. Before you go, what do you want people to remember you for about your Nollywood journey?
About my Nollywood journey.
Yes, what would you want people to remember you for? Yes, about your journey in the industry.
The only person we do deaf and dumb and nobody fit play after. We don't talk about before now. Nobody don't play person. Nobody. The thing is that the legacy that I want to leave behind is a legacy of a God-fearing person, a legacy of someone who was focused and never for once was discouraged as an actor, even though he was discouraged, but with focus and he still went on ahead as an actor. And I've, I've been there, done that. So it's more like being focused and being disciplined. That's all.
Right. Thank you very much. I appreciate you, bro. So before you finally go, what are you on any project? Is there anything that you want your audience to know? Are you promoting any project? Are you promoting anything? Are you on Instagram? Are you on for YouTube? Anything you want people to know about?
I well, I just finished producing a movie not too long ago, but it's in the oven right now. It's not ready yet, and I'm not ready to speak anything about it because we have our marketing strategies and all that.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So you before finally also in terms of marketing now, what other things do you do so that people know? Let's know them now. Apart from acting,
Producing,
using
festival artists, MC,
artist
events,
MC,
event coordinator.
coordinator, you see the stand up?
Yeah, I just stand up.
David, you see the stand up. All right. Thank you very much, Jude. I appreciate you. Thank you for your time and all that. And my company, thank you. This is pure gold, really. This is pure gold. I know this is movie everyone. This is pure gold, straight from one of Nollywood finest. This is the man who I respect a lot that have done so much for himself and for this industry and for his family and for his friends. I want to say big thank you to the man who never stopped performing. May God never let you stop performing. You continue to
Yeah.
perform and God will bless you. Thank you very much for honoring my invitation. We look forward to seeing you again. Everybody, thank you. This is where we sign out. Thank you and God bless you. Much love, much love. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. Thank you. God bless you. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you.